So what's the best way to advertise your business? This one depends a lot. It can vary so much from business to business. What works great for one business might not work at all for another business. There are many different ways. For starters, that could be kind of more traditional things like television, radio, newspapers, things like that. That could be through social media, whether that's organic posts or paid posts, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter. There's a bunch of different options for social media. That could be online where you have a website and you could be generating traffic to your website by doing paid ads, especially through Google Ads, where when people search certain things, that will drive them to your website by having your website show up as one of the main or the top search results that come up. You could have things like brochures and flyers and posters, posters that you put up at certain physical places, arenas, libraries, fitness centers, things like that, or flyers that you go hand out door to door, or brochures that you hand out at certain events. That can be a good option as well. You could have signage like billboards or digital signage, or signage like at bus stop stations, things like that. So there's a lot of options with physical signage as well. You could have the Google search ads, as I mentioned, which is a good way to make sure that you are more visible when people are searching for certain services or products in your region. You could advertise just through word of mouth, maybe incentivize people to promote your business, maybe go to networking events and promote your business and try and develop connections. You could also promote the business by joining different groups, different networking groups. Maybe there's a chamber of commerce where you live, or a BNI where you live, or certain other local groups that meet regularly or even just once in a while. And you can meet up with the people there and discuss your business. That can be a good option as well. Typically, word of mouth is one of the best ways to advertise because it's just a more personal connection. If someone has used your business and then someone they know is looking for a business that provides that service, if you did a good job for that person, they're likely to refer you to the person who asked them. And that's going to be a much warmer lead and more likely that that's actually going to convert to business. One thing to consider as well is the type of business that you have. So are the products and services that you offer very visual? Maybe you have a product like clothing. So posting on Facebook and Instagram might be really useful because it's such a visual thing that you're selling. Or maybe you have a construction company or a painting company and you can take videos of what you're doing, and that's very visual as compared to if you are a bookkeeper or a lawyer. What those professions do is not that visual. So posting a lot on Facebook and Instagram might not be as eye-catching, as attractive, and so it might not work as well. And I really think there is no one size that fits all. What works great for some companies doesn't work at all for others. I've seen some businesses that don't really advertise at all because the owner has already established a reputation and connections in a certain field. They start their business and then word of mouth is enough for them to get clients. Whereas other businesses are doing everything. They have a website, they have a blog, they have a YouTube channel, a Facebook, an Instagram, they're doing signage, they're doing radio advertisements, and they have to do a whole bunch of different types of advertising just to gain clients and get some momentum. So it can vary a whole lot. I think advertising is often trial and error. You might have a great idea that you think is going to be really successful, and then when you actually try it, it doesn't get you the results you want. And then other times you think something's not really going to do anything or get results, and you kind of just put it out there, and then to your surprise, it's very successful. So it's a learning process and it's trial and error. So I think just do what makes sense and what sounds good to you, and maybe keep your spending low to start out, and then just kind of learn as you go. Maybe get some expert advice to help you, or get someone who specializes in advertising to help with that whole advertising campaign. But don't feel like you need to do everything. I think in a sense, it's better to have your name out there in multiple ways, having it on business directories and different social media accounts and stuff, but don't feel like you need to do all of it. I think some businesses feel like they need to have an active Facebook account when they really don't, and it might not benefit them that much, especially if they're not posting regularly. So pick a few things to get started, focus on those, expand to those if you want, especially if they're doing really well. And if they're not doing really well, you might have to tweak it a little bit or just try a different method. But there are tons of different methods, and it's actually a lot easier these days to advertise because of things like social media and the internet. You can be more directed and more targeted with your ads, both in terms of demographic and region and timing and pricing and things like that. So feel free to explore and just find out what works best for you.